Guys, welcome back to the Bandit Variety channel. Today's video we're going to be doing is we're going to be showcasing our new gun. Now, before we get into this, what I need to clarify is that this video is not part of Gun Showcase series that we are doing. It is a gun showcase video, but it is not part of the series. This is a new gun that I bought a few days ago, and I was gonna wait to show it until I got to where it was on the gun wall. That probably would have been around, I don't know, Gun Showcase 18 or whatever. But I'm going to be using it in Resistance Story, and that next episode might be out by next Saturday, and I'm going to be using that gun, so I would like to showcase it before that happens. So, this weapon, or this gun, is a toy, and this is a New Ray toy hunting rifle. Now you're probably wondering, why are you buying this at your age? And it's because I like this stuff. It's my hobby, and I use it in my videos. And it's just what I like to do. I just like to have stuff like this. I know it's a toy for little kids, but I'm going to be using it. So, let's go over the basics of the gun and everything that it came with before I go into how I customized it and how I made it my own. So, this is the New Ray toy hunting rifle. It comes with built-in sound. I took the battery out because I'm going to be making my own gun sounds, and it made a sound when you work the action. And it had a red piece up here in the end of the barrel that lit up when you fired it. It turned red. I took that out just so I could have an open barrel, and the reason for that is because how you're going to shoot projectiles out of the gun if you don't have an open barrel. It just makes it more realistic. Like there's nothing that shoots out of this gun, but I pretend that there is, so obviously you're not going to be shooting anything out of it if it doesn't have an open barrel. So what I'm doing is I've taken that off there like that, and so YouTube doesn't flag this thinking it's like a 22, a real gun or whatever. I put some red electrical tape on the end there, just to ensure the safety of that, securing that. So that's that. This gun only holds one shell. That's one of the things I was disappointed with. I thought it would hold multiple shells, but now that I think of it, this gun's made for ages 3 and up, and most kids in between those ages, they don't really know how to use this. They're not too familiar with bolt action like I am. Well, because I know that, because when I was that age, I wouldn't have been able to figure this out either. And it comes with these 4 fake shells, like that, and you just put one in. It has shell ejection system, so you can look at this in here. You're gonna see this little piece. Let me try to show this here. This little piece in here, my hands on, that's on a spring, and so when you have your shell in there, when the bolt gets back to a certain point, that spring's gonna pop it up and it ejects the shell out flawlessly. So I like that. When I bought this, the barrel was sort of bent, kind of. It isn't so much now because I've kind of corrected it, but that was another disappointment. Not so much anymore. It comes with a toy scope. It has no crosshairs in it, but it does kind of magnify things a little bit, so that's kind of neat. And it just slides on these 2 rails here that you see. So it's just going to slide here and here. So the rails, there's one here and one here. And you're just going to slide the scope on like that. Right? And then it looks more, so if I needed to use this as a sniper rifle in Resistance Story or whatever, I'm going to have this scope on here. This has the same issue as most real bolt action guns today, like the Savage Axis 6.5 Creedmoor that I have for hunting. That's my deer rifle. The bolt comes up too close to the scope, and this, you're probably thinking, well, it's just a toy, who cares? But this actually happens on most real rifles. The bolts nowadays, they come up too high because scopes are no longer side mounted because the ejection port's on the side instead of the whole way around. So that's just how that is. So you have to be careful you don't hit the scope when you're running the bolt down. So we may or may not use the scope today. Now, let's get into how I've customized this. These are anti-tank shells. These are more heavier anti-tank shells, and like I've said before, the reason these look small for anti-tank shells, but that's because the head, this is actually, so this gun is the, what was it? Widow Model 22. So this was made by Patrick Arms Industry. They made the Model 03 Goliath, which is used in Resistance Story, and we'll get to it in Gun Showcase eventually. This is made by Patrick Arms as well. These guns are known to toggle between bolt action and semi-automatic. They can fire anti-tank shells with bolt action and semi-automatic ring shells with slide action. So, these are our standard anti-tank shells. Well, actually, no, these are actually heavier anti-tank shells. These are the other anti-tank shells that shoot 5mm by .50 BBs out of them. Lead ball, not steel balls, but lead balls that fly out. These guns are accelerated. They fire, since the projectile is so small, they can get away with firing it out at about 18,000 feet a second, which is enough to pierce tank armor. So that's what these do. But these ones actually fire the head of the bullet out. So, we're going to give that a fire real quick. Alright? So, here we go. We have I'll get to these rubber bands in a minute here when we get to the semi-auto version. We'll start here. Not firing at anything in particular right at the moment. So it'll fire them. It will also fire our 5.5 by, or our 5 by .50mm BB ring shells. These fire out in a wad, and when they hit the tank armor, it pushes each ball, and the wad breaks apart, and each ball pushes one another into, so it works like a drill through the tank armor. It's amazing how it works. And so, this is how this anti-tank shell works. These are actually real bullet shells from like a 308, but they're just empty, and they work pretty good in this gun. This is a 308. So we're firing 6.5 Creedmoor, 30-30 Winchester, and 308. That have been converted into these new anti-tank shells. And in my opinion, these shells actually work better than the shells that came with the gun, but they don't eject out as good though. Next, we have our ring shells. So these have 10 rings inside, giving you 10 shots out of one shell. These will hold one of them. And you see, this bolt is not made to be like this on this toy gun. So to make it more like the Widow Model 22, Model 22 stands for the year it was made, 2022. So the bolt will fall back, actually. So if you didn't have this rubber band here, when you shot, the recoil would blow this back and eject the spent casing. and that's not good because we still have 9 shots left in that casing. So this rubber band is here to hold it in place. So that's that. So this kind of works like some World War I auto-loading rifles. You're not going to see how a semi-automatic works. When you pull the trigger, the slide comes back and ejects the spent casing and moves forward to feed another one up into the chamber. Well, these ones have rings, so this slide does come back a little bit to move back to the 9th ring from the 10th and then back to the 8th from the 9th. Well, you're not going to see it because it flies back so fast. So, and it flies back such a small amount. So it's actually doing like that as I'm shooting. So, here we go. Alright, we'll put another one in, like that. It will fire 5-shot ring shells, so that's like our 5, this is about a 4mm by 4.4mm by 35. Wait, so, here we go. And it will fire subsonic rounds. These rounds are for the Air-Enfield shotgun and the Air-Enfield carbine rifle. They will also fire out of our other gun. This one has rings in it, I believe. Sometimes you gotta move this rubber band up so it works. I must have 10. So that's that. And now, just to give you an idea of how this gun works, I'm going to use it on some clones. So, when we get into arena matches later in the... I'm not going to use these hearing protection. When we get into this arena matches later in the channel, I'm going to have different factions that I fight. So, as you may know, in a Resistance story, I play mainly Lieutenant Robert Carrickety, but I play pretty much all the other characters. Well, Arena is basically where Carrickety is pitted up against a series of challenges from all the enemies that he has fought. So that would be the Confederacy, the Sealsock Union, the Old League of Bounty Hunters. The latter 3 that I just named, those were bounty hunters that worked for the Buckethead Empire. We have the Pirates and the Ragheads. They're more like savage groups. They fight against the Bucketheads. So the Pirates work for it, but they both work for it, but then they fought each other. They are like groups that Carrickety was tasked with hunting down and destroying. And then we have I don't know that I'll be doing the Adidas Fighters in Arena on this channel, but anyway, today we're going to be shooting at the Sealsock Union clones. And so basically, in these arena matches, Carrickety is pitted up against not only regular infantry, but there is tougher infantry. As he progresses through, the infantry get tougher, and they get to be juggernauts and something that is known as power core juggernauts. So these juggernauts have power cores on and they basically create a whole shield across their bodies, so they are immune to small arms fire. But the power cores are not. So you have to shoot. Some have 3, some only have 1, some have 5 power cores, the elite juggernauts. And you'll be able to tell the difference between elite and juggernauts because their hats that they wear and stuff. And so today we're going to be shooting in a 3-core juggernaut, and we're going to be using these anti-tank shells that are in it. So, without and these the reason they wear jackets is because it's colder. So that room way down there, you can't see it, but that's where the Juggernaut is. I have him set up and cloned and ready to go. He is inside there, and he only thrives in cold environments. So I'm going to have to put a jacket on. I'm going to have to go in there with him. So, he has, I believe he has a sword, so we're actually kind of at an advantage here. Actually kind of at an advantage here because we have the gun. But we're also not at an advantage because he can deflect bullets very well. So, we're going to move into this here. Alright, I'm going to get the jacket on, and then we're going to enter the room. I don't think we're going to shoot at anything else, just this Juggernaut. Alright, we're in the room. You'll hear an explosion sound when his power core bursts. And he will charge at us. It looks like we hit them pretty good. Still one power core left. This is where it gets a little dangerous. And this will stun him a little bit after we take out the third power core, giving us time to take care of him. And then all we have to do is shoot him after that. But he is a little bit tougher. That's how you tell that they're tougher, because they have jackets on, masking their power cores. Alright, now all we have to do is shoot him like that. It appears that we have a couple fighters way out there. I'm gonna unload this here, and I think we're gonna. I'm just gonna put one of these 5-ring shells in. Okay, we'll just I'll put one of these in. And we'll just take them out. I must have forgot that they must still be in here from the last wave. So I'll just attach a scope here. These are quick attach scopes. They're already sighted in upon attaching them. That's beautiful technology. Alright. Alright, we're ready. It looks like we just had 2 down there. Alright. So that's that. Alright. Turn the thermostat up here. Alright. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. So please like, subscribe. It helps out the Bandit Boy Variety channel. I know today was a long video because we had a lot to talk about and a lot to showcase. But anyway, that's going to be it. Please stay tuned for other things we're going to be doing on the Back No Poor Body channel.